is a political system that separates people according to their race. Race means categories. Can you say which of the three countries named below had such a political system until very recently? Which one of them?
South Africa.
South Africa. Okay. Have you heard of Nelson Mandela? Mandela and his African National Congress, now there is a party, spent a lifetime fighting against apartheid. Mandela had to spend 30 years in prison. Finally, democratic elections were held in South Africa in 1994, quite recent. And Mandela became the first black president of a new nation. In this extract from his autobiography, do you know what is autobiography?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I don't want the Hindi translation. Long Walk to Freedom. Mandela speaks about a historic occasion, the inauguration. Can you guess what the occasion might be? Inauguration? What kind of inauguration was there? Oath taking ceremony, you can say. So let's read out the news cutting of a newspaper. Mandela becomes South Africa's first black president. This was the heading of the news. Nelson Mandela has become South Africa's first black president after more than 3 centuries of white rule. Mr. Mandela's African National Congress (ANC) party won 252 of the 400 seats in the first democratic elections of South Africa's history. The inauguration ceremony took place in the Union Buildings Amphitheatre in Pretoria today, attended by politicians and dignitaries from more than 140 countries around the world. Never, never again will this beautiful land experience the oppression of one by another, said Nelson Mandela in his address. Now, can you please explain this oppression? Kind of discrimination. Jubilant scenes on the streets of Pretoria followed the ceremony with blacks, whites and coloreds celebrating together. More than 1 lakh South African men, women and children of all races sang and danced with joy. Now, I am going to read the chapter. 10th May dawned bright and clear. For the past few days I had been pleasantly busy by dignitaries and world leaders who were coming to pay their respects before the inauguration. Now, dawn. 10th May dawned.
To begin
Morning. Dawn. D-A-W-N. That is dawn. Dawn means morning. The day was bright and clear, and for past few days Mandela had been busy with the people who were coming from other countries to respect or to attend the inauguration ceremony. The inauguration would be the largest gathering ever of international leaders on South African soil. Now the inauguration, that ceremony, that kind of occasion is the largest gathering of international leaders or dignitaries on this particular land, South Africa. The ceremonies took place in the lovely sandstone amphitheatre formed by the Union Buildings in Pretoria. Now the ceremony was held in Yes. Do you know any other building which is made of sandstone? Red Fort, that is also made of sandstone. For decades, this had been the seat of white supremacy, and now it was the site of a rainbow gathering of different colors and nations for the installation of South Africa's first democratic, non-racial government. Now, it was the first time that everybody got the opportunity to have their freedom. It was the first time. Earlier, it was the rule of whites. On that lovely autumn day, I was accompanied by my daughter Zinani. On the podium, Mr. De Klerk was first sworn as the second deputy president. Then, Thabo Mbeki was sworn in as first deputy president. When it was my turn, I pledged to obey and uphold the constitution and to devote myself to the well-being of the republic and its people. Now, when it was the turn of Nelson Mandela, that was the oath he took. He pledged to obey and uphold the constitution and to devote himself to the well-being of the republic and its people. To the assembled guests and the watching world, I said. Now, this is going to be a very important line which he said himself. Today, all of us do, by our presence here, confer glory and hope to newborn liberty. Out of the experience of an extraordinary human disaster that lasted too long. Now, what is human disaster he meant to say? Yes, the races must be born a society of which all humanity will be proud. He says, as we have suffered a lot, we have struggled a lot with this apartheid system, now it is over and now we shall have a newborn society, a new society that will be the center of attraction for the world, that we will begin a new era of development, progress and humanity. We who were outlaws not so long ago have today been given the rare privilege to be host to the nations of the world on our own soil. Now, earlier, as there was apartheid system, so other countries did not have good relations with them. They did not have any trades with them. Other nations have trades between them. Like we send something, they send something. Means selling and purchasing is going on between other countries. So that thing was not done with South Africa. Other nations did not follow this trade system with them. Because of this system only, because they were only fighting for their own freedom. So now they have got the privilege to do that. We thank all of our distinguished international guests for having come to take possession with the people of our country of what is, after all, a common victory for justice, for peace, for human dignity. What he said, that this is not the victory for my own people, for myself, for my family. This is the victory of justice, for peace, for human dignity. We have at last achieved our political emancipation. We pledge ourselves to liberate all our people from the continuing bondage of poverty, deprivation, suffering, gender and other discrimination. Now they have achieved the success to form a political government there, democracy there, but now what other agendas which they have to cover, they were the education for everybody. They had to free their people from bondage of poverty, deprivation, suffering and gender and other discriminations. Never, never and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will again experience the oppression of one by another. Now he has a hope, he has a wish that this kind of thing shall never be there in this country. The people of this country should never feel oppression by other people, means from the same country people. The sun shall never set on so glorious a human achievement. Let freedom reign, God bless Africa. He said that the progress should be continued now. The sun shall never set, means the rise of this freedom, the rise of this democratic country shall never set down. And then he hoped that God bless Africa. Do you know this inauguration is still there on electronic media? If you search his speech, the inauguration speech, you will find it on YouTube very easily. He is available. Ready? And you can hear what he has said, I have just read in this book. He has said these words himself. It is around just 10 to 15 minutes video. Easily you can find out and you can hear him live. Though that is not live now. But still you can hear him. You can see how he said things. And you can see the people who were really enjoying, like it is said, no, around 1 lakh people were there. So that was there. And you can see that Union building also, amphitheater that he has said about. That is also there in that video. You can see it. It's really nice. You can means you will learn something out of it. See, he has written. I am just reading it out. But the feeling, the expression which he gave, I may not be able to put that 100%. So if you want to enjoy that, you can learn from that. So many things are there. And with that video, you will find one more video. That let's see whether you can find it out or not. The video I'm talking about. There's a great personality who has no. Okay, moving on to the next. A few moments later, we all lifted our eyes in awe as a spectacular array of South African jets, helicopters and troops carriers rode in perfect formation over the Union buildings. Now there was a show, fly show you can say, like by the helicopters, jets and the troop carriers, which had, if you have seen someday on 26th January or on 15th of August, there is a fly show you can say, where these armed forces put their best to show what strength they have. So this was there. It was not only a display of pinpoint precision and military force, but a demonstration of the military's loyalty to democracy, to a new government that had been freely and fairly elected. Now, the show which they had done, it was not to show their strength, it was not to show their military power or force, but it was to show their loyalty towards the new government, towards the new country which had just been installed. Only moments before, the highest generals of the South African Defence Force and Police, their chest back bedecked with ribbons and medals from days gone by, saluted me and pledged their loyalty. Now, few moments back, before that show began, few moments back only, there were military generals and higher end officers of military and police, you can say, they had been put their medals and ribbons on their chest. As you know that army people have so many ribbons and chest, and that different color of tags are also there. So that had been there, and they have respected Mandela as a president and the new government also. They have shown their loyalty towards the country. I was not unmindful of the fact that not so many years before they would not have saluted but arrested me. Now he says that a few years back, you can say, sometimes back, the people who have shown their respect or loyalty towards Mandela would have not saluted him but arrested him. Now, why was he being arrested?
He was black.
Not because of
He
that.
was fighting against apartheid.
Because he was a rebellion. You know rebels? What is rebel? Yes, the one who fight against something. That is a rebel. Who fight against a particular system or something like that. That is a rebel. So he had been a rebel. Therefore he would have been arrested. Finally, a chevron of Impala jets left a smoke trail of the black, red, green, blue, and gold of the new South African flag. The day was symbolized for me by the playing of our two national anthems and the vision of whites singing Kosi Sekele, Africa, and blacks singing Diastem, the old anthem of the Republic. Now they sang two different national anthems. For whites, there was a different one, and for the blacks also. Although that day neither group knew the lyrics of the anthem they once despised, they would soon know the words by heart. Though that day they did not know the words properly, they did not remember the words of the song properly. But according to Mandela, once they are through with the practice, they will learn it by heart. On the day of the inauguration, I was overwhelmed. Do you know the meaning of overwhelmed? Very happy, very excited, joyful, with a sense of history. Now, what kind of a history? In the first decade of the 20th century, a few years after the bitter Anglo-Boer War and before my own birth, the white-skinned peoples of South Africa patched up their differences and erected a system of racial domination against the dark-skinned peoples of their own land. Now, he remembers the history, he recalls that how this apartheid system began in South Africa. So, right after the Anglo-Boer War, in the first decade of the 20th century, a few people of South Africa, those who were having white skin, whites you can say, they made a system against the dark skinned people that was a dominating system which was against the darks. The structure they created formed the basis of one of the harshest, most inhuman societies the world has ever known. Now, it was such a hard kind of system, it was so harsh, you can say, that the world has never seen against the people. Now, in the last decade of the 20th century and my own 8th decade as a man, that system had been overturned forever and replaced by one that recognized the rights and freedoms of all peoples regardless of the color of their skin. And now, when he himself is in his 8th decade, means he is running into 80s, his 8th decade and the end of the 20th century, this system has been overturned or changed by one which recognizes and respects the freedom of all, the civil rights of all. That day had come about through the unimaginable sacrifices of thousands of my people. People whose suffering and courage can never be counted or repaid. Now what he says that this day on 10th of May, he's talking about. This day has come after the sacrifice of so many people of his country, and the sacrifices which is not easy to be done, which are not to be done, okay, you can take it. It was not like that. It was very hard for them to fight against this system. I felt that day, as I have on so many other days, that I was simply the sum of all those African patriots who had gone before me. That day Mandela felt that he was not the only one who has fought against the system, or he was not the only one who should take the credit. Stop playing with that. Who should take that credit of bringing the freedom against this system to the country. But what he said, that he was not the one man. There were so many behind him or before him, after him and before him, you can say, who have fought and who have given their lives to bring this freedom to the country. He says he is simply the sum of so many people. Means it is not the only one who fought. Basically, what do we say, that who got freedom to India? Who brought freedom to India? Basically, we say the nation of father. Okay. So he was not the only one. There were so many people before him and after him. Right? People had different ideas to bring that. Though he was alive. So we have stand to him. But there were so many people, because he had a vision. You know, the people who have a vision go to a journey, bring something to the world, some achievements to the world. You have read about so many people, you will find their life has been full of struggle. It is not easy. So therefore, but he still does not take the credit. He says that it was not he only who brought the freedom. There were so many people. That long and noble line ended and now began again with me. I was pained that I was not able to thank them, and that they were not able to see what their sacrifices had brought. Now he gives the credit to them also, those who are not there with him, those who have passed away. He says that I am unable to thank them because now they are not there. But he says that they could have seen, if they could have seen what their sacrifices have brought. What is brought here? Brought up, given, result kind of thing. What their hard work has resulted as. The policy of apartheid created a deep and lasting wound in my country and my people. All of us will spend many years, if not generations, recovering from that profound hurt. Now, the apartheid system has given a strong wound, a deep wound. I hope you know the meaning of wound. So, he says that it may take some years to recover from that, and if not covered in some years, we will give our generations to recover from that. But still, we will bring a good generation, we will bring a good society out of it. But the decades of oppression and brutality had another unintended effect, and that was that it produced the Oliver Tambos, the Walter Sisulus, the Chef Luthulus, the Yusuf Dadus, the Abraham Fishers, and Robert Sobukwe's of our time. Men of such extraordinary courage, wisdom, and generosity that their like may never be known again. Now, what he says, that though the country suffered a lot, though the system was so brutal, you know brutal? What is brutal? Brutality. Berehmi, nirdayata. Getting? So that was there, and out of these sufferings, out of these oppression, what people they have got from? What kind of people they have achieved from? They were the people who came out of this system to fight against it. These were also the freedom fighters, you can say, against the system. And he says that men of such extraordinary courage, wisdom and generosity that their life may never be known again. Means such people will never be born again. There can be two reasons behind it. Such people can never be born again because that system is not there now. So you will never know that these people or the newborn people will have such courage, such wisdom may be there, but that courage will not be there. Or if it is there, then it would not be shown as they have shown. Because now the system is not there. You never know that Gandhi might have born again and he was there, but he was in the free India. So he might not have fought against the system. Right? One birth gives you the chance to create history. Either you create it or you yourself become. There are two things. If you are born as a human being, there are two things, two opportunities you have. One, you will become a history, or you may create a history. It is up to you. Getting? So these people have created history. Perhaps it requires such depths of operation to create such heights of character. He himself said that why such people will not be born again or known again in the world, because it really requires that kind of operation, that kind of brutality, that kind of situation to create such characters. My country is rich in the minerals and gems that lie beneath its soil. But I have always known that its greatest wealth is the people, finer and truer than the purest diamonds. What he says, that his country is rich in minerals. They have gems and minerals beneath the soil. But according to Nelson Mandela, the greatest wealth what the country is rich is the people of his country. What he says, his people of the country are finer and truer than the purest diamonds. It is from these comrades in the struggle that I learned the meaning of courage. Now, from these people whose name he has given, he has learned from them that what is the meaning of courage. Time and again, I have seen men and women risk and give their lives for an idea. He has already seen so many struggles of other countries. Other countries have also fought against such kind of system or other rules. So he has seen that there have been so many men and women who have given their lives for an idea. For an idea means a vision. I have seen men stand up to attacks and torture without breaking, showing a strength and resilience that defies the imagination. Now, he says that he has seen so many people, he has seen so many men fighting and standing strong against the brutality, against the torture, physical torture he is talking about, without breaking. Without breaking means without putting down. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. You should learn this line because there is a question based on it. According to him, courage was not the absence of fear, but the victory over it. And a brave man is not the one who does not feel afraid. The brave man is the one who conquers that fear. Now some of the courageous people will be here. No one is born hating another person because of the color of his skin, or his background, or his religion. Now, before I explain this portion, I would have a question from you. How many of you do hate something? Do you hate something in the world? Is there anything which takes place around you and you just hate it? Is there anything? Do you hate something? You hate what? Maths. That you have to see every day. Okay. And come on, hurry up. Yeah. Quick, quick, quick. Faster. At least tell 1, 2 names. What do we hate in the world? Rice. Noise. Okay. That you create yourself. Yes. Player. At the back. Oh God, there is a huge list, right? Nothing. We like everything in the world. That's very good. Nothing? What about you? Good. I'm not getting your voice.
My brother.
You hate your own brother. Wow. Yes.
Brother.
Brother.
SST.
SST.
Science.
Science.
Garbage. Garbage.
Garbage.
मुक्ति बड़ी लिखते.
There is nothing like that mukti, okay? English. Wow.
Math.
This. Okay.
All subjects.
All subjects. Wow. Good. Okay, so when you were born as a young child, when you were a newborn baby, you did not know all these things. She never knew what was maths when she was a child. Nobody knows that what is a noise. He does not know what is all subjects, SST or brother or sister. So, you were never born with hatred. The feeling of hatred is never born with you. You are always born with the joy, with happiness, with love. These all things were around there. You started hating when you started understanding things. Getting? So this we will continue in the next lecture. Okay?